What's up and welcome back to my channel, Torpedoes and Tarantulas. So, if you've been watching me for a little bit, or at least seen the last couple of videos, maybe you'll remember that I said I had some rehousings to do. Well, that's what this video is going to be about today. We have a couple of rehousings that we're going to do. Both of them are New World, so they ought to go pretty smoothly. So now I'm done with the intro. I'm going to reposition the camera and get back to it. Let's rehouse some teas. Okay, so in this rehouse video, I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm not going to redo enclosures, brand new substrate, cork bark, leaf litter, all that kind of stuff. Because basically what I'm going to do is just kind of switch houses. The one that's in this container right here, I'm going to move in a larger container that is now empty after a tarantula that I had died during a molt. It established, and it was a brachypelma as well, or actually an aphonopelma, but, you know, kind of along the same lines as far as genus goes. They're both North American tarantulas. They're both pretty much terrestrial, even sometimes fossorial. Anyhow, the tarantula that was in here had established a burrow system, which I think will go really well for this tarantula since it has a burrow system in its enclosure, but like I said, it's just kind of outgrown it. And then this smaller one I am going to put into this enclosure, and hopefully it adopts the burrow that is in here. I'm not going to put any new substrate or anything in there. All I'm going to do is move some substrate around in this enclosure for this tarantula, but for right now, before we do that, let's get this one in here. Okay, so in order to rehouse a tarantula, we have to first remove it from its current enclosure. I didn't really think out how I was going to get this thing out, but I'm hoping that this method will work pretty well. It's right down in here in its funnel system, and I see it coming this way. I don't anticipate much of a bolt out of it. This tarantula has been mostly kind of skittish up until its last molt, which was just a few weeks ago now, I believe. It hasn't been that long ago. And it has calmed down a little bit, but it's still a bit skittish, if you will, and does not want to leave that burrow. There we go. Now, ideally, we want to block it off from getting back into the burrow there. And let's see if maybe I can do a Tom Moran method here and guide it into the bottle without too much issue. Wants to go underneath, it wants to go down rather than up, so of course they never want to cooperate. Ever. No, sometimes they do. I mean, I have a pretty decent track record of tarantulas and rehousings. I mean, I had a couple of bolts, but most of the time when I have trouble, it's this right here. Just one that does not want to cooperate and go into the catch cup or whatever. Rarely ever have a bolt or any other issues like that. Just stubborn spiders. There we go. Got it up and out. Give you guys a brief look at it now. The Tulitocatl epicurianum. Don't think I had mentioned that yet. That is the species, genus and species that I have right here. This is the Yucatan rust rump. They are very similar from what I can tell in photographs and reading about them and everything. They are very similar to the Brachypelma vagans, the Mexican red rump. They're just a bit bigger. Sorry, guys. Concentrating more on the spider in the cup than I am on the camera. Let me get the new enclosure over here and let's get it in its new house. Alright guys, so I'm just going to attempt to push the spider out of the catch cup, or in this case bottle, into the new enclosure. Hopefully without too many issues here. Just some stubbornness basically. But that's a good sign. I mean, this has been a pretty docile tarantula so far. Like I said, when it was smaller, it was pretty skittish, so it would always run and hide in its burrow when I touched or opened its enclosure. But it's getting a little bigger, so it's getting a little braver. But there we go. There is the first one Rehouse now, the Brachypelma, or the Tilitzocatl epicurianum, the Yucatan rust rump, in its new home. Hopefully it will like it. Let's rehouse the other one. Alright, so hopefully this one will go a little easier. I've actually switched prodding methods. The paintbrush seems to work. It's got a bigger surface area and it's a bit softer than the bamboo skewer, but that is a common tool of the trade, is the bamboo skewer, but so is the paintbrush. So this is the Brachypelma verdezi, the Mexican rose gray, that I did a molt update video on yesterday. If you didn't see that, go back and check that out. And I want to backtrack for just a second. Quick disclaimer, I was talking about the Brachypelma and the Aphonopelma basically being the same thing, and everybody knows they're actually not the same thing. They are two completely different genus with a lot of completely different species, but they are very similar. Besides being New World and North American, they're all terrestrial, and basically in the wild they all live in a burrow system. So, and that burrow may not always be one that they dug themselves. A lot of times tarantulas will adopt an existing burrow from a rodent or another arachnid or tarantula. That's why I didn't redo any of the enclosures. I just put them back in enclosures that already had burrows in them. So here we go. I was trying to figure out how to move this tarantula. This one's been pretty chill. I don't normally condone this and I don't normally do this, but I'm thinking about maybe transferring it by hand. So what I'm going to try to do is get it to move up on my fingers. There we go. Nice and easy. Quick look at it here. This is the one that Norvis gave me when I went to visit him. Appreciate that, buddy. So now we will try to, kick the tripod there. I don't have a camera person, so camera woman or cameraman or camera kid. So I do this all on my own. Now all we got to do is convince this spider that its new home is better than the last one. And like so, it is down and in its new home, and we are at the end of this rehousing video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if the video quality was kind of lame, of concentrating more on the spiders than on the shot. So hopefully I didn't bore anybody either. You enjoyed it, and you'll let me know with a thumbs up and a comment. Share this video with your friends. I hope you guys take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day or a great night. God bless.